Welcome to the Fashion Editorial Template walkthrough. If you're watching this video, you purchased my template. So thank you for this. If not, follow the link below because this video is only to guide you through the template and nothing else. If you are completely new to Unreal Engine, you should watch my other complete beginner's tutorial where I explain how I set up this template. And if you follow the other tutorial, you even have your own template. You don't need to get mine. This template is designed to help fashion designers, creatives, and 3D artists to have a fast workflow from CLO 3D to Unreal Engine and produce clean editorial style renders in just a few minutes. And in this video, I'm just guiding how to adjust the light and the camera and quickly go into the rendering. That's it. So let's start. We start in the Epic Games launcher because I quickly want to show that you should check if all the correct plugins are installed. And therefore you go to install plugins and then we have the CLO Marvelous Designer Live Sync. Normally here should also be the Substance plugin, but it's actually not available for now. I hope it's coming in the new year. So I'm closing this one and then I open my Studio Base. And if you don't know how and where to find the plugins, I explained everything in my first video, so make sure to watch this. I opened the scene now. First of all, what's inside the scene? I added a main level, which you actually see here. Then I have the render settings portrait, which are relevant later when we render. And then the sequence base. This is like a base scene I created. There's also the assets folder where I have dress, which you see in the scene, and also the mannequin, as well as materials. In this case, it's the paper material, which is attached to the background. And there's also this background, which is here in the scene. I created this split screen. So the presets are that you have two windows open, and then on the left side, need to switch from perspective to Cine Camera Actor. This is unfortunately closing every time. And if the material is actually looking blurry here, I selected, click on this little folder and open my garment once, save it, and normally this is kind of like a bug fix. As said, I created a target light setup and I want to explain how to use it. On the right side, we see the outliner with all the content of this level. And here is the full folder with the light. Starting with the backdrop light, this is not parented or attached to anything, so this could be kind of like moved around freely. And then there's the option to kind of like change the intensity of the light as well as the color. For sure you can also change other settings, but this mainly kind of like creates a different setup and mood for your scene. Then the fill light is an actor. You see it with a little icon here. And this means that we have a rectangle light, which is parented to the fill light. And this means whenever we move this actor here around, it takes the light with us. So you could, for example, kind of like rotate it around the object and creating a different light. And then again, for the fill light, there are mainly following settings, which can be arranged for every project new, which is the intensity. There's also the light color, source width and height I would just keep. Probably the temperature could be adjusted. Probably one thing I would also adjust for every project is the attention radius. As you see, it kind of like, as higher the radius, the longer the light. And sometimes it can be very helpful to have like the light radius a bit reduced, so it's also not hitting hard shadows on the floor and background. The same is for the key light. I can select the key light to rotate around my object and then selecting key light settings to change the settings. I have a rim light here, which is hitting from the back, and then a spotlight. To switch off the lights, just to arrange them in the scene, I like to just like select and deselect them with this little eyeball. So I can start like painting my light in with like probably first the fill light and see how much intensity I need, and then like building it up for each light. If you switch this one off, it will also be rendered, so be aware of this. If you don't need one of the lights in your scene, either you delete them or you select the light and then search for hidden, and then you have actor hidden in game. And when you select or deselect this one here, it will also not be included in the rendering. Same setup I have for the camera. Camera is attached to an actor And then the camera has probably one setting I would only change for each project, which is the focus setting. So I select here focus setting and open this. It's actually set to tracking. And if I open the tracking focus setup, I can select here with this little like picker my actual garment or my avatar. And then I select draw debug focus plane and can set a different offset. This is sometimes helpful if you want to focus more on the face, because probably the pivot point of the garment is like in the front, and then you just like need to check like which of the axis for the relative offset is arranging your point to the correct setting. I just switch this back to my previous one, and then I like just uncheck the plane to have it out of the scene. Another setting is the lens setting. I have actually the setting set to 85, but a lot of people prefer like a 50 lens or even 30. This can also be part of your art direction. I'm actually zooming out here on the right field and now move my camera closer to my object. This means that I still have like my actor here working if I want kind of like change the angle or even like the height to my object, and then I just change the settings in my camera. If by accident I mess this one up here, I started to move my camera and then I'm using my actor and recognize, oh, this one is completely off, I could start to just recreate this by selecting the camera and hitting this little arrows here, kind of zero it out, and then I do the same for my camera, zero it out. And now pay attention, your camera is actually on the side, so I first select my camera and move it out, and then I select my actor and move it up. And also to get back to the front view, I type in -90. And now I have my camera back to the front and also set up as this target setup. I have also created a post-process volume which includes all of my settings. If you want to change something, mainly it's the bloom, its sharpness and chromatic operation. And I also did some soft color grading. I would just leave it as it is, but you can change them belonging to your art direction if you want. Coming to the sequencer, I'm opening it by double click here on the sequencer base, and then I made a little turntable. And if you want to render your scene, you click this little clap button. Here's a drop down menu where I select my render settings portrait. Then I click on the render settings portrait by itself. On the left side are the settings. I select output, or it's selected by default. And then I can also open this one here and select a folder where I want to save my images. I hit accept and then I can render local. I close this one for now and quickly want to show how you can duplicate your levels that you can reuse. And that's also very simple. I just select my main level and go to duplicate or Control D, and then I can name the scene. And the same I do then for my sequence base. And if I open now my new level, I could leave like the main one untouched and start now to adjust like my main level. And for example, import a new garment from CLO. I open here the selection mode and have CLO Marvelous Designer Live Sync. And therefore it's important that you downloaded this before and installed it to your engine, that this one opens. And then there's this like message coming up because we don't have Substance so far. And these are my settings to import. I could import now a new garment. And then like just recreating everything in the scene here. Same for the sequencer. If I open the new one now, you see everything is like turned red. I need to select it, right mouse click, and then assign to actor. And then I can like, again, select my Cine Camera actor here, and it turns then from red to white. It's important for your camera cuts to also select it, right mouse click and Cine Camera actor to attach it to your scene. And I can do the same with assign actor, and I'm like just selecting my actor and I select my garment and also the turntable. Mainly it's everything which you have like in the outliner is in the sequence, and you need to assign it again if you start to use your sequence in a new level. So I think it would make sense to, for example, call this one then your level blah 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 and this one same. And I always use like a letter in front, like maybe underscore or L for level underscore and then the name, and here L underscore. If you have like several levels and several sequences in your scene, it can get quite busy. Just that you remember which scene and level belongs to what. You can make a right mouse click on your level, asset action, and then capture thumbnail. And then you get this little preview here, and I do the same. Asset action and create capture thumbnail. And then if I have different garments and different light setups, I can just kind of copy them and make images for each of the level and being organized. I think that's it for this explanation. If you have any issues, comments, problems, or feedback, feel free to make a comment. And if you think, what the hell is she doing? Just go to my other tutorial and watch the complete beginner's tutorial, which I also link. Thank you.